All right. Greetings. Welcome back to Black Bear News, where everything is connected. How y'all doing? Oh my God. Okay. We'll try that again. Hi. Welcome back to Black Bear News, where everything is connected. And all the viewers are smarter than the average bear. Sorry. Right when I started speaking, something really grand got in my throat. And yeah, anyways, that happens. What's going on? All right. Folks up in the chats, I see you, Obsolete Optics. When did the time change of the show? 2 weeks ago? A week ago. 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I feel like it's been changed for a while. Were you just wondering where it was at 11? Or at whatever time you're at? 1, noon, 1 or 2? Bella's here. Gregory's here. Gene's here. Anthony's here. What's up, Anthony Davis? How you doing? Victory is here. Victory is on X. Victory sent me a message. Said, hey, Bears, what's up? Something like that. I don't know if I breathed in a bug, but something happened there. Right. I kind of remember that, Obsolete. You were in Illinois. Perma shadow ban on Brave? I don't understand. I can see. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. It's a weird thing. The shadow banning is a weird thing. I don't really understand what's happening. Anyways, we're live on YouTube, Rockfin, and on Twitter. These are the platforms for right now. Excuse me. These are the platforms on which I am broadcasting. Guys, I'm coming to you for free every single day, and I do ask if you can to donate $1 or more via a direct donation link if you're enjoying the show. They're all down below, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, all that kind of stuff. If you could kindly, that would be super great. Track me, bro. YouTube hates the Brave browser? I don't know. That's interesting. I don't know. Oh, you're using Safari. Okay. Okay. And we're live on Rockfin. I see you, Rockfin people. If you're watching on Rockfin, you know what to do. You know what to do. Give a like. Give a retweet. Give a comment. Give a something or a something or a something. Excuse me. It's really frustrating. I was not completely congested when I started the show. Now I am. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's some kind of pollen thing. I'm not sure. All right. Well, let's start off with Extra Bullet says the chat box on Brave browser takes a few seconds to load on my end. Still good ad blockers. Okay. So yeah, the new time, if you're unawares, as I know it takes time for people to catch up when I change the time, and I'm sorry for changing the time. I really tried not to just change the time willy-nilly, and I had to think long and hard about it, and I didn't do it just all out of the blue and randomly, but I had to change the time. And so the new time is 4 p.m. Pacific. 4 p.m. Pacific. And that being said, tomorrow, I don't know if I'm going to do a show tomorrow. I have a lot to do tomorrow. And it's kind of like all day. This time works out better for you, Gene? Yeah. Well, there's winners and losers. It's like climate change. I changed the time, and some people are happy, and some people are sad. So I don't know. I'm trying to just do it so that, everybody's happy, mostly me. Actually, I did it. Obsolete, you like this time better? Great. Yeah, if it works out for people. I feel like it's a more of a prime time kind of a thing, Awesome. Thank you, Bella. Glad you like it. Yes. So I changed the time because it's getting warm, and I've already explained all this. I changed the time because it's getting warm, and it's just easier for me to work on music. My studio gets hot, like real hot during the day, but in the morning or earlier parts of the day, it's still cool in here. I can still kind of work on things before my computer takes a dive and doesn't like what I'm doing. And it's just more comfortable for me to work on music. And that is a perfect segue to tell you all that I have a new track out today that I just released. And it's a track. I'm basically releasing this new record I'm working on. I'm releasing this new record I'm working on kind of like a single at a time. Helps me kind of stay in the promotion mode of it, because once I release a record, I'm over it. I'm done. I'm done working on it, thinking about it, caring about it. I'm on to the next. So what I'm going to try and do this time with this record is kind of like promote, one song at a time as I get them done. And that way this record will have plenty of promotion all the way through the process. And then once the record is out, then bam. Anyways. So here is the link. I'm going to put this in on all the platforms of the new song. It's called Ease. The new song is called Ease. And if you would, if you want, go over, check it out, give it a listen, do whatever you want to do. Hope you all enjoy it. And also with this record, I kind of have an ongoing fundraiser for the record because it takes time. It takes a lot of time to record music, and oh wait, I don't want to do that. This is what I want to do. I'm going to link this. I'm going to link this link as a comment on my live stream on Twitter. Anyways, so it takes, time, energy. Time is money. Takes some funding and some, the time as money or money as time to get music done. So I have like an ongoing fundraiser for the record, and you can also contribute to that as well if you are so inclined. If you would like to see this record get done faster or just be involved in it, you can contribute to that. I will drop a link for all that too. And anyways, so there's all that. Okay, all right. There are all the links, or you could just go to kevinsandbloom.com and you can find everything there. Okay. All right. Let's go to starting off with a little bit of randomness. Why? I don't know. Armed highway thieves steal 40 tons of avocados in Mexico. So if you are wondering why the avocados might suddenly jump or go down in price, who knows? Maybe stolen avocados might show up at your store, and they might be on the cheap. It might be on the cheap. Anyways, armed highway thieves steal 40 tons of avocados. Avocados are, pretty big business. Highway bandits in Mexico have made off with more than 40 tons of avocados. Attorney General's office said the avocados were stolen in 2 separate robberies in the western state of Michoacan, Mexico's main producer of the fruit. In both cases, armed men stopped freight trucks carrying about 20 tons each and stole the shipments. Come back. Avocados are usually shipped in crates, which would make transferring the load easier and quicker. Growers have long been targeted by drug cartel extortion demands in Michoacan. And thefts of fruit on the trees and avocado orchards are not unknown, but hijackings of entire shipments are said to be rare. And in related news, I don't know, Jazz Farm, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. Oops. I didn't want that one. I'd like to hear your thoughts on, I don't know if we're going to be able to see this post. It might not let me. It's on Instagram, so it might not let me. Anyways, it's somebody telling me how, or somebody saying, it's really not very vegan. Even growing a food like avocado is not a vegan, even though you're not eating and killing the animal and raising the animal directly, it's still not a vegan experience. So let's see if we can watch this. I think we can. Oh, come on, man. No, you're not gonna play it? and I don't know if this is propaganda or what, but it says all forms of agriculture leads to the death of animals in one way or another, or to some extent. It is a myth that veganism does not lead to any, as many animals are killed during the production of avocados, for example. The most ethical form of agriculture is regenerative agriculture. Let's see if I'll... Come on, man. These guys suck. Anyways. Well, anyways, Jazz Farm, I was actually just playing this to see what you thought about it, but well, he's saying that they have to kill, thousands of squirrels, ground squirrels, because they're, or, pests in general, and that there are a lot of insects that die in the process. What do you think? I don't know. Yeah, I got zucked, and I don't want to sign into Instagram. I don't really care. Steph C says 8 billion people 8 billion people expecting to eat just one avocado a week is impossible. It's ridiculous to think these diet fads are good for the environment when scale is considered. Yeah, scale. And then there's that. Gene says just by existing we harm animals, insects, etc. Jazz says, have you seen the Yellowstone quote? Have you ever cleared a field? It depends on how cute something has to be before you get all ethical about what you kill. This life is death for food. Well, there you go. So, yeah, that's why, I am a vegetarian. I am not a vegan. I'm a vegetarian. And I am a vegetarian for health reasons because I feel better when I don't eat meat. But I do need a little animal protein, so I eat cheese and eggs. I eat cheese and eggs. And that's about it for me. But I don't eat meat, and I don't really want to eat meat. And I feel like it's just like obviously if you're just eating hamburgers every day, it's probably not a very healthy thing. And Victory Jin says the least amount of suffering is the goal. Yeah, I think the least amount of suffering is the goal. I personally don't really like the factory farm system. And if I could farm all, my dairy intake, I totally would. Like if I could get a goat or two and drink goat's milk or make cheese out of goat's milk, I would totally do that. If I had some chickens and got my own eggs, I would totally do that. I would love to do that. I don't do that. I can't do that right this second. So it is, definitely a problem of scale, right? And that's why I don't really get super militant, and I'm not really... When people get all militant about you got to be totally vegan or you don't care about the earth or you suck, you're not really all about it. I'm like, really? Okay. Just slow down. Slow down. Slow down, really. At the same time though, people that are just like really not very conscious about their diet, people that, I used to travel through the South a lot, and I was a vegetarian, and people would be like, what do you eat? Oh, my God, you're a veg. Oh, my God, what do you eat? I'm like, dude, like everything. I eat everything. I just don't eat freaking meat. And, so the idea that you can't imagine a life without meat is also, I think, kind of silly. Balance. If you're eating meat at every meal, you're probably unhealthy. I'm sorry to tell you that. You're probably eating an extremely unhealthy diet. Unless you're eating grass-fed, and it's cooked, in a very healthy way. But even then, and also fish is terrible, right? It's terrible for the planet. And eating fish, you have to wonder, you have to really like put it out of your mind. Like, what is this fish been soaking in? Plastic, radiation, right? The toxic stew that is our oceans, right? So even fish, I actually do eat a little fish once in a while, but really not that much. Very little fish. And I'm just, every time I eat fish, I'm like, oh God, what am I eating? So I don't know. I think, the best you can do is try to know where your food comes from. Try to eat as healthy as possible. Yes, try to do as little harm as possible. But I mean, I'm really not all about people getting all like, whoa. And I've had people come at me before like, oh, if you're not vegan, you don't care about you just hate the planet. No. Jazz Farm says, let's get into it about the amount of diesel it takes to transport all this vegetable. Right. Like, really nothing we eat, and again, unless you grow your own food or everything is extremely locally sourced and you know exactly where everything comes from, you're probably involved in eating something that is planet destroying, And don't talk to me about a vegan diet while you drive a big honking car made of, 80% plastic. Just don't. You know what I mean? Like, we all have to make choices to live in this world. And they're all tough choices. And it's hard to get outside the system. So, do your best. Try to make the best choices you can. Let's try not to judge other people for, their choices or their thoughts around it, Let's try and, what we want is more consciousness and not, I don't know that judgment is consciousness. I don't know. Extra bull. Yeah, I'm actually not on that diet, but I should be because I'm also PAF, but I try to at least eat well, and I do eat well. I'm not like packing it on like, oh yeah, all the food I'm eating. I try to eat clean. I make a lot of my own food, and that makes me just feel better about life in general. Anyways. Jazz Farm says the only way this society exists is because of the slave labor called oil. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, let's keep it going. In India, Delhi, they have hit some record temperatures. I was going to call this show the Ministry of the Now, but whatever. Y'all should understand that. Delhi temperature hits 52.9 C. So the beginning of the ministry for the future might be something we see in the near future. I don't know. I think this is 126 degrees Fahrenheit. Authorities warn of water shortages with temperatures 9C higher than expected. 9C and 1.9C above previous countrywide high point. Temperatures in Delhi have hit record high at 52.9 C as authorities warned of water shortages in India's capital. A heat wave alert has been in place for large parts of India since last week, but on Wednesday, the India Meteorological Department said the temperature in the suburb of Mungeshpur had passed 50 C for the first time in the city. The temperature was more than 9 C higher than expected, the IMD said. It came on the second day of record-breaking heat. On Tuesday, a high of 49.9 C was hit in Mungeshpur and Narela, breaking the 2002 record of 49.2. The IMD warned of the heat's impact on health, especially for children, elderly people, and those with chronic diseases. The alert said there was a very high likelihood of developing heat illness and heat stroke in all ages. I want to go down here. Heat wave has been building up inexorably for weeks. Even so, residents were shocked by conditions on Tuesday and Wednesday. People told of fingers being scorched from touching the steering wheel of a car, and the tap water was coming out at boiling temperatures. At the SMS hospital in Rajasthan's capital, Jaipur, so many bodies of casualties of the heat have arrived in the mortuary that its capacity has been exceeded. Police in the city say many of the victims are poor laborers who have no choice but to work outside, and homeless people. Very concerning. Indeed. And they're saying that there's going to be a pretty massive heat wave, or the likelihood of a massive heat wave in the western United States here in about a week or two. So if you're in the western United States, that's me, prepare yourself. What they're saying is the heat dome from Central America and the Gulf is going to move up. Also in India, Cyclone Ramal has claimed at least 36 lives in India's northeastern states of Assam, Mizoram, Nagaland, and Meghalaya. And staying in the area, in Bangladesh, alarming levels of forever chemicals have been found near Bangladesh garment factories. So, yeah. Along with the slave labor, or the very, very cheap labor that makes a lot of your clothes, there's also a lot of environmental impact cost of that. Why? Because we moved all the factories over there. A, so we could get at the cheap labor, but B, so we could get around the environmental regulations, right? So, yay capitalism. Or yay disaster capitalism. I don't know. Speaking of forever chemicals in the water, you know the EPA, I covered this a few weeks ago. The EPA has said they're going to start regulating PFAs in the water for the first time. And we've known about PFAs and PFOAs for decades now, right? We know how deadly and how omnipresent they are. And yet the EPA said they're going to regulate them for the first time. They're so on it. I love how on it they are. Exceptional heat in Mexico and Florida is happening now. 47 degrees in Yache, hottest day ever recorded in Campeche State. 42 degrees in Chihuahua at 1,400 meters. Florida, West Palm Beach hit 37.2, and Honduras, they hit 38.4 at Catacamas. Also, Mexico just seems to is getting whacked right now. Also, Texas, Houston, the Midwest is getting whacked too. If you've been paying attention, the Midwest of the U.S. has been getting whacked. But in Mexico, they're getting whacked too, with high temperatures, drought, and flooding all at the same time. Massive flooding due to heavy rainfall in Monterey. All while Mexico City is approaching a day zero. For their water resources. In China, they're still getting whacked. In the Hunan province, 210 millimeters of rain in 12 hours produced stuff like this. That is wild. Imagine being in that. I've never been in any flooding situation like that. That crazy. Let's see. And we're going to go through some extreme hail videos. This one is from Iowa. Houston, they were getting baseball size hail. I'm going to look at these videos here. How many days in a row has this been? Texas, there's one city in Texas or another one. Absolutely stunning. Wind, hail, rain. This is from Lebanon, Texas. Gorilla Hail shreds SUV. This is pretty wild footage here. Come on. You can do it. Here we go.
Dust! Look at the dirt! Here it comes! Ah! We broke through!
crazy stuff. Exactly, Delene. Keep driving so you can't see where you're going. Yeah, I was kind of like, well, I don't know what you do in that situation. If there's nowhere to get out of it. Your best bet is being inside of the car. Because if you get out, obviously, you're going to get smacked. All right, in other news, ConocoPhillips to acquire Marathon Oil in $22.5 billion deal. The takeover is the latest in a wave of consolidation sweeping the oil industry, with the biggest players rushing to acquire smaller rivals. David Ho says, only in a world that has no intention of decarbonizing does this make sense. Well, yeah. Yeah. There's no intention. I've been seeing, I don't know. I didn't bring it to the show, and maybe I'll bring it tomorrow, but there were a lot of posts today about like people getting excited about emissions falling in China. Emissions fell 3% this year from last year, and they're like, "Oh, has China seen its peak of emissions?" And it's because they're whipping out all the renewable energy, and the renewable energy, the solar panels and the windmills, turbines, and the whatnot. And I was like, okay. You got, it was kind of one of those like cheers for change and the new world and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, I didn't want to be, I guess it's cool because emissions are falling. We were talking about this yesterday. It also made me wonder, like, what emissions are they measuring, right? What emissions are they measuring? Are they taking into account? Are they taking into account the externalities? Right? Were there emissions involved in creating all of those renewable energy sources? I'm sure there were. I guess it's good. I don't see that, creating just fields full of solar panels and wind turbines are going to, save us from anything. I don't see it. I don't want to be a negative Neil. Nobody likes a negative Neil. I just don't know if it's something to get excited about. And we're not decarbonizing anytime soon. We're still drilling and pumping like crazy, right? The U.S. is exporting more oil than ever. And we're using more oil than ever. Anyways. Maybe I'll bring that tomorrow. We can look at it a little more in depth. I would like to. Or maybe we'll do it today. Who knows? Well, let's look at this a little bit. Oil pack tracker. I saw this. Victory Chin sent this to me as well. What's worse than big oil? Big oil monopolies break them up, nationalize, and cease their existence. Well, yeah, if only it were that easy. If you cease their existence, you cease most of civilization as we know it. So I don't know if it's just that easy. I love those sweeping statements though. You got to love the optimism. And I think this is a failure to communicate properly. I mean, okay, the sentiment is great. I totally agree with seizing the corporations and putting them out of business. I agree. But if you're not telling people how radically their lives will change if you did that, if you're not preparing people for another way of living because of these actions, then you're really missing a big part of the story. So it sounds good. I love the sloganeering. The slogans are great. Really get people motivated. But if you're also saying, you got to also say like, well, everybody get ready to consume like 80% less of the stuff that you consume now. Then I think everybody would be like, oh, I mean, some people are ready for that. And I'm not saying that, people won't want to do it. It's just you have to communicate that that's what they're going to have to do. If you really want a world that is not, if you want to stop destroying the world hand over fist, you really have to communicate that to people. Anyways. And then there's this, which is that, all these companies are planning on getting bigger, on making more stuff and selling more stuff. And they're planning on more people to do it. They are planning on more people to do this. They're not planning on, you have to project into the future that you're going to be profitable. That's how business works. And you have to project that you're going to be more profitable than you were last year. I don't know. That's how business works. Until we find another metric, or until we find another way, way in which we fund capitalism. Right now, we fund capitalism on projected earnings into the future, which means more stuff and more growth and more things. So, when people are getting happy about 3% reduction in emissions in China, I think it's a good time to slow down, because unless you've changed the system that requires growth, and pretty much everything, I don't know that we really, have something really grand to celebrate. But that's just me. Fun facts: half of all plastics ever manufactured have been made in the last 15 years. The last 15 years has seen a lion's share of the damage. Production increased exponentially from 2.3 million tons in 1950 to 448 million tons by 2015. Good God, y'all. Production is expected to double by 2050. Expected. Why? Why is it expected? Why? Because nobody's going to calm this down. Unless we all cease and desist. Unless we, take ourselves out of the equation. And I mean by taking our consumption out of the equation, right? If we all just stop buying this shit, stop engaging in it, who are they going to sell it to? If nobody's buying, who are they going to sell it to? I saw an interesting post today. And it was the post was about art, but I thought about it in the way of capitalism. Can you imagine that, though? Hold on one second. Oh, okay. Sorry. Anyways, I saw this post earlier today about how it was Noel Gallagher from the band Oasis, and he was like, we're the creators and the music makers, and we tell people what they want, right? He's like, can you imagine fashion houses just giving the people what they want, right? Do you imagine that fashion would change if they just allowed people to just say, well, this is what we like, so this is what we want? No, we basically, he was saying we force the change in tastes on people, right? I don't know. On some levels, I get that, and when you're talking about art, I can actually appreciate that. But it's the same. It's kind of the same with consumerism, right? They, you may not want this thing, but they give it to you anyways. And what do people do? They buy it, right? You may not want plastics. You may not want chemicals in your food. You may not want, to buy a particular pair of shoes, or, a new car, or a certain kind of car, right? You know what I'm saying? But they make it and they insist that you buy it, and everybody goes, okay, right? So on some levels, it's like, that's what they do with consumerism. That's what they do with that. That's what they do on the TV. They sell you a lifestyle, and people buy the lifestyle because they're like, oh, I guess that's what we're supposed to do. And that's the thing, is people could actually turn that around. People can actually just say, like, no, we're not buying the lifestyle anymore. We're not buying shit anymore. We're going to do something different. And I don't know. Maybe we can force the change on them. They don't know that what we want is not them. They don't know that yet. So we could actually say, we're not doing that. And they're going to be like, oh, damn, okay. Anyways. Victory Chin says, my lifestyle isn't consuming. Good. Yeah. Okay. I know I said something at the beginning of the show, but I'll say it again. If you are a fan of the show, if you like the content, if you enjoy watching this for free every single day, and if you like what you see, please consider supporting the channel financially. There are a bunch of links below whatever platform you're watching on. The usuals: PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, Zelle, and all that, and coffees and stuff. Please consider supporting the show financially, and I totally appreciate it and could certainly use it. And to those who support the show already, you know who you are. I appreciate you. I did actually forget to thank. Got some support over the weekend from Lou and Chris. Chris was supporting the book reading, so thank you guys. Forgot to shout you out. Not really paying attention to Rockfin. What's up, Rockfinners? How you doing? Joseph's there. Joseph says, welcome to Delusional Island. Also says, civilization is an all play as to the destruction of life and increasing its suffering. Excuse me. Also says, decarbonated equals de-agriculture, de-concrete, de-stealing, etc. Yes. Yes and yes. Trying to see who's on Twitter. Say hey to the Twitter people. What's up, Twitters? I know it's not called that anymore. Whatever. Whatevs. I see you all on Twitter. Thanks for watching. Okay. Where are we at here? 600,000 customers are with power in Texas, and that number is expected to climb as destructive storms slam the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And this is from yesterday. But it looks like they're still enjoying, and I say that jokingly, enjoying some wild weather there. You miss Joseph's phone calls? Yeah, I do too. Oh, and somebody was saying, well, they were acquired by Rumble, so I guess maybe I could do the same on Rumble. I just haven't gotten on Rumble yet. I was going to do it and I just forgot all about it. Sorry, guys. I'll make an effort to get that together. Steph C says Nate's episode with Arthur Berman goes over how the part of oil used for plastic would need to be dealt with as a waste product. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Joseph's phone calls were some of the better ones for sure. Maybe I'll try and work that out. Oh man, you know what I keep doing that I keep forgetting? Internal dialogue. You guys don't need to hear it. Okay. Well, I'm kind of upset at myself for doing it. Sorry, guys. We're kind of slowing down here a little bit. What's going on? Oh, I see what's going on. Maybe it's just me that's slowing down. Not sure. Got a couple more things to show you. Well, we talked about this 600,000 customers without power in Texas. In other news, UCLA workers at UCLA walked out. Why did they walk out? In protest about how the pro-Palestinian protesters were being treated. UCLA workers walked off the job today, protesting the university's response to Gaza demonstrations, saying it has violated students' and workers' First Amendment rights. Well, good on you. They were not, I mean, pretty much the response countrywide has been we mostly, this is not 100%, but mostly the response has been to absolutely give the demonstrators the boot. And that has been seen in most cases. On some campuses, they treated the protesters a lot differently. They allowed them to speak and to have their say. Oh, that's a good stat, Bella. The fossil fuel industry gets subsidies of $11 million a minute. $11 million a minute. For every dollar we invest in climate change, we spend at least 5 subsidizing what is killing us. Yep. And just looking at the ridiculousness of the Biden administration and their their part in all this. John Kirby likens Israeli airstrike that killed civilians to U.S. bombings in Iraq and Afghanistan. We did the same thing. We did the same thing. So it's okay. The Biden administration is really going with it's okay that Israel is massacring civilians because we do that too. I mean, we did the same thing. So, I mean, why are you upset now? What? Say what? Confused face. What the hell? I mean, I don't even understand why you would say that out loud and not go and not see the inherent problem in that. But I mean, they went with it. So they went with it. Yes, he should be in jail. That's called a war crime. We did it too. We're war criminals too. And let's listen to this. Mike Johnson is literally echoing what Lindsey Graham said the other day. Seriously, the Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives, Mike Johnson, plans to sanction the ICC. He warned, if the ICC prosecutes Israeli officials, we know that America will be next. Oh, my God. Rules-based order. We can't follow the rules. We don't want them. Because we're psychopaths. That's why. Because the people that run this country are psychopaths. There is no rules-based order. There is no such thing if we don't follow it. I mean, there is an international court. There's an international consensus on what is right, what is wrong, what should be happening, etc. And oftentimes we are the ones that are puppeteering that, orchestrating that, whatever. But in this case, the international community said, hell no, this is absolutely unacceptable. And we're like, but wait, we actually might be held to the same standard as Israel. This could be problematic, man. Rejecting international law, he said the U.S. and Israel don't put any international body above their own domestic law. This is the textbook example of a rogue state. Yeah. Correct. Ding.
If the ICC is allowed to threaten Israel's leaders, we know that America will be next. America should punish the ICC and put Karim Khan back in his place. And if the ICC is allowed to threaten Israel's leaders, we know that America will be next. There is a reason that we've never endorsed the International Criminal Court, because it is a direct affront to our own sovereignty. We don't put any international body among or above American sovereignty, and Israel doesn't do that either. Congress is reviewing all of our options right now. We have some very aggressive legislation that we're going to push as quickly as possible. It will impose sanctions. And if the ICC moves forward with its absurd warrant arrest or request, this is going to be an even bigger international problem. And if the ICC is allowed to threaten Israel's leader,
Bella, exactly. Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. Johnson is one of the congressmen who held up payment to dying 9/11 first responders. Wow. Of course. I mean, not surprising. Anyways, now I'm good and depressed. Thanks, guys. Anyways, let me make sure I thank anybody who needs to be thanked. What's up? Yes, the pier that they built for aid, Denver, is sinking. Yes, it's sinking. The pier in Gaza is falling apart. The pier that they built to deliver aid, but actually, I believe they use it to deliver weapons as well, is falling apart and sinking. interestingly enough, due to bad weather. John Glad says the one world order is around the corner. It looks like that's what, I mean, they're trying. Seems that way. Seems that way. Right. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold on, yo. All right. All right, guys. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be here tomorrow. As I said earlier in the show. What? Hello. Hello. I got a lot going on tomorrow, and it's going to be touch and go about whether I can actually pull a show off tomorrow. And it certainly won't be at 4:00. So if I do a show, it's going to be a random time. So I don't know. We'll see. But I can say for sure that I'll be here on Friday. So if I don't see you tomorrow, I will see you all on Friday at 4 p.m. Thank you all for your eyes, your ears, and your conscience. And definitely thank you for the conversation. And until next time, peace.